Zambian President Hichilema has reignited political tensions by publicly accusing his late predecessor, Edgar Lungu, of enabling a culture of impunity that allowed corrupt officials to escape accountability for serious crimes, including murder. Speaking during the ceremonial opening of the 5th session of the 13th National Assembly, Hichilema delivered a pointed critique of the governance failures under Lungu's administration, framing them as systemic and deeply entrenched. His remarks, though not naming specific individuals, were interpreted by many observers as a direct indictment of the previous regime's handling of high-level corruption and criminal investigations. The president's speech marked a significant moment in Zambia's evolving political narrative as it reflected a shift from cautious diplomacy to assertive reckoning. Hichilema emphasized that the rule of law must be restored and that no individual, regardless of rank or affiliation, should be shielded from prosecution. He lamented the erosion of institutional integrity during the Patriotic Front's tenure, suggesting that political elites had manipulated law enforcement and judicial processes to protect allies implicated in violent crimes. The reference to murder, though stark, was not merely rhetorical. It echoed long-standing public concerns about unresolved cases involving political violence, extrajudicial killings, and suspicious deaths linked to state actors. This rhetorical escalation comes amid a broader campaign by Hichilema's United Party for National Development, or UPND, to reframe Zambia's governance model around transparency, accountability, and democratic renewal. Since taking office in 2021, Hichilema has pledged to dismantle networks of patronage and impunity that flourished under Lungu's leadership. His administration has launched several high-profile investigations into financial misconduct, procurement irregularities, and abuse of office, targeting former ministers and senior officials. However, critics argue that the pace of judicial proceedings remains slow and that political rhetoric must be matched by institutional reform. The president's decision to invoke the legacy of Edgar Lungu, who passed away earlier this year, adds a layer of complexity to Zambia's posthumous political discourse. While some citizens view the remarks as a necessary confrontation with historical injustice, others perceive them as disrespectful or politically opportunistic. Lungu, who served as president from 2015 to 2021, remains a polarizing figure in Zambian politics. His supporters credit him with infrastructure development and economic expansion, while detractors cite rising authoritarianism, media suppression, and corruption scandals during his rule. Hichilema's comments also reflect a strategic effort to consolidate his reformist image ahead of the next electoral cycle. By drawing a sharp contrast between his administration and that of his predecessor, he seeks to galvanize public support and reaffirm his commitment to justice. The invocation of murder as a symbol of state failure is particularly potent in a country where political violence has left deep scars. It signals a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and to challenge the culture of silence that has long surrounded elite impunity. From a regional perspective, Zambia's political trajectory under Hichilema is being closely watched by neighboring countries grappling with similar governance challenges. His emphasis on anti-corruption and institutional accountability aligns with broader continental efforts to strengthen democratic norms and combat kleptocracy. However, the durability of these reforms will depend on the independence of the judiciary, the professionalism of law enforcement, and the resilience of civil society. In sum, President Hichilema's accusation against the late Edgar Lungu is more than a political statement. It is a symbolic rupture with a past marked by opacity and fear. It underscores the stakes of Zambia's democratic transition and the urgency of building a governance system where justice is not selective and accountability is not negotiable. Whether this moment marks a genuine turning point or a rhetorical flourish will depend on the actions that follow and on the institutions tasked with delivering justice without prejudice or delay.